500 years ago, in the heart of Renaissance Italy, the most dangerous weapon in Florence wasn't a sword. It wasn't an army. It wasn't even gold. It was information. Entire fortunes disappeared because someone revealed too much, trusted the wrong person, or reacted exactly as their enemies expected. History remembers the kings who fell, the republics that collapsed, the powerful families that vanished. But history rarely reveals what truly destroyed them. It wasn't one catastrophic event. It was a series of quiet mistakes. Mistakes so ordinary they looked harmless, until they became impossible to reverse. No one understood this better than Niccolò Machiavelli. As a diplomat of the Florentine Republic, Machiavelli spent years traveling between the courts of Italy's most powerful rulers. He observed kings, generals, bankers, merchants, and princes at the height of their influence. He watched alliances form over lavish banquets and collapse through a single whispered conversation. He wasn't studying ideals, he was studying reality. And after years of witnessing ambition, betrayal, victory, and failure, one conclusion became impossible to ignore. Power is rarely taken by force. More often, it is surrendered. That observation remains just as true today. The castles have become corporate headquarters. Royal courts have become boardrooms. Secret letters have become emails and instant messages. Yet human nature has barely changed. The same mistakes that destroyed Renaissance rulers now quietly destroy businesses, careers, reputations, and relationships. Today, we're returning to Florence to uncover the 7 timeless mistakes Machiavelli witnessed. Mistakes that continue to shape who rises, who falls, and who leaves a lasting legacy. Before we uncover the first mistake, subscribe if you enjoy documentaries that uncover the timeless ideas behind history's greatest civilizations and thinkers. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from, and stay with us until the end, because the 7th mistake may be the most dangerous of them all. Our story begins in Florence around the year 1500. It was one of the richest cities in Europe. Church bells echoed through narrow stone streets. Merchants bargained beneath towering cathedrals. Artists painted masterpieces that would outlive kingdoms. Bankers financed monarchs. Scholars challenged centuries of accepted knowledge. To outsiders, Florence looked like the center of civilization. But beneath its beauty lay a ruthless contest for influence. Every banquet concealed negotiations. Every celebration masked ambition. Every smile invited suspicion. Power was rarely won on the battlefield. It was won through patience, timing, and understanding people better than they understood themselves. From this extraordinary city emerged the first lesson. The first mistake was believing that visibility was the same as influence. Ambitious nobles competed to display their importance. They built magnificent homes, hosted extravagant feasts, wore luxurious clothing, made public promises. They believed that the louder they appeared, the safer they became. But experienced observers noticed something very different. Every display revealed information. Wealth exposed resources. Confidence exposed intentions. Ambition exposed future plans. Without realizing it, many powerful men made themselves predictable. And nothing is more valuable to an enemy than a predictable opponent. Florence's greatest merchant families understood this. They rarely announced an investment before it was secured. They kept negotiations private until agreements were impossible to stop. They understood a principle that remains true today. Silence is often a strategic advantage. The less others know about your next move, the fewer opportunities they have to interfere. Many people today make the opposite mistake. They announce businesses before building them, share goals before achieving them, Seek recognition before producing results. Attention feels like progress, but attention and progress are not the same thing. One seeks applause, the other seeks mastery. History remembers which one usually wins. The second mistake would prove even more dangerous because it involved something almost everyone wants: trust. The second mistake was believing loyalty was permanent. Few assumptions have destroyed more leaders. During Machiavelli's lifetime, Italy was not one united nation. It was a collection of rival city-states: Florence, Venice, Milan, Naples, and the Papal States, each competing for power, wealth, and survival. Alliances shifted constantly. A trusted friend today could become tomorrow's rival, not because people suddenly changed, but because their interests did. A marriage united powerful families. A war redrew borders. A trade agreement created new opportunities. A new pope changed political priorities. And with every change, loyalties changed too. Machiavelli observed that successful leaders never confused cooperation with permanent commitment. They understood a timeless truth: people are often loyal until their incentives change. This wasn't cynicism, it was reality. The wisest rulers didn't rely on trust alone. They built systems, balanced interests, and created relationships where everyone benefited from staying together. The lesson is just as relevant today. A business loses key employees because it assumes loyalty instead of earning it. A founder shares confidential plans with the wrong partner. A professional mistakes admiration for commitment. Influence doesn't come from expecting loyalty. It comes from continually deserving it. But even those who understood people often made another fatal mistake. The third mistake was confusing emotion with strategy. History is filled with brilliant leaders who weren't defeated by stronger enemies. They were defeated by their own emotions. An insult became a war. A wounded ego became revenge. A moment of anger became years of regret. Machiavelli noticed that the easiest opponent to defeat wasn't the weakest, it was the most predictable. And nothing makes a person more predictable than uncontrolled emotion. When pride takes control, judgment disappears. The greatest merchant families in Florence understood this well. They ignored countless insults, not because they lacked courage, but because they refused to waste time, money, and influence fighting battles that produced no lasting reward. Every unnecessary conflict consumed resources. Every emotional reaction gave opponents valuable information. True power wasn't reacting to everything. It was deciding what deserved a response. Power is not measured by how loudly you react. It is measured by how completely you control your reactions. The fourth mistake was believing reputation could survive repeated compromise. In Renaissance Florence, reputation was invisible wealth. A banker without trust lost clients. A merchant without credibility lost business. A diplomat whose word meant nothing could negotiate nothing. Money could be recovered. Buildings could be rebuilt. But reputation spread faster than any army. Rumors crossed borders. Letters reached royal courts. Long before people met you, they had already heard your name. Whether true or false, people acted on what they believed. Machiavelli understood that perception often became reality, not because it was always accurate, but because people made decisions based upon it. Every promise kept strengthened authority. Every promise broken weakened it. The same principle governs the modern world. Before people evaluate your talent, they evaluate your reputation. Reputation is rarely destroyed overnight. It erodes, one excuse, one shortcut, one broken promise at a time. Yet according to Machiavelli's observations, another mistake proved even more deceptive. The fifth mistake was mistaking movement for progress. Florence never slept. Messengers raced through its streets before sunrise. Merchants crossed dangerous seas. Political councils debated for hours. Everyone seemed busy. Yet the busiest people were not always the most successful. Many announced ambitious plans that never became reality. Others quietly focused on a handful of essential goals. They invested patiently, built carefully, negotiated privately. Then, years later, they appeared to succeed overnight. But there is no such thing as overnight success. What appears sudden is often the visible reward of years of invisible discipline. The illusion survives today. Some people spend years talking about becoming exceptional. Others spend those same years quietly becoming exceptional. One seeks attention, the other seeks mastery. History consistently rewards the second. Progress is not measured by movement, it is measured by direction. A ship sailing in circles never reaches a new shore, no matter how fast it moves. The same is true for people. The same is true for businesses. The same is true for nations. Every distraction quietly steals time from what truly matters. By now, a pattern begins to emerge. Power is rarely destroyed by one catastrophic mistake. It is slowly surrendered through habits repeated so often that they begin to feel normal. Then came the sixth mistake, allowing success to become arrogance. Failure often teaches humility. Success often teaches certainty. Victories accumulate. Praise grows louder. Criticism grows quieter. Eventually, confidence becomes overconfidence. A ruler begins believing every decision is brilliant. A wealthy merchant assumes yesterday's success guarantees tomorrow's. A respected leader stops listening because no one dares to disagree. Then reality changes. Markets evolve. Technology advances. Competitors adapt. Public opinion shifts. The habits that created success are quietly replaced by comfort and routine. Machiavelli understood that fortune never remains loyal forever. Those who survive are not the ones who believe they cannot fall. They are the ones who prepare as though they always could. The most dangerous sentence in any era is, "We've always done it this way." Because history belongs to those who remain students, even after becoming masters. Then came the seventh and perhaps greatest mistake. Believing yesterday's success guarantees tomorrow's influence. Many rulers believed their authority alone demanded obedience. Many merchants believed their wealth alone guaranteed influence. Many noble families believed their famous name would protect them forever. History proved otherwise. The Medici family endured longer than most, not simply because they were wealthy. They endured because they adapted. They invested in institutions. They cultivated relationships. They embraced new opportunities before others recognized them. Their greatest asset wasn't money. It was their ability to evolve. Others clung to old alliances, old methods, old assumptions. While they looked backward, the future quietly passed them by. The lesson reaches far beyond Renaissance Italy. An entrepreneur who ignores changing technology repeats the same mistake. A professional who stops learning because of past success repeats it. A leader who demands loyalty without continuing to earn trust repeats it. The scenery changes. Human nature does not. Perhaps this is why Machiavelli continues to provoke debate more than 5 centuries later. His greatest lesson was never that power belongs to the ruthless. It was that reality favors those who understand it, those who prepare, those who adapt, those who master themselves before trying to lead others. Because beneath all 7 mistakes lies one timeless truth. Power is not the ultimate goal. Mastery is. Master your emotions and you become difficult to manipulate. Guard your reputation and trust begins before you speak. Remain adaptable and changing times become opportunities rather than threats. Choose preparation over applause, and your results will eventually speak louder than your words. These principles belong not only to rulers and politicians, they belong to entrepreneurs building companies, students preparing for the future, professionals leading teams, parents shaping families. Anyone determined to leave a meaningful legacy. History rarely changes because of one dramatic moment. It changes because of small decisions repeated every day. A promise kept, an emotion mastered, a habit maintained, a lesson applied. 500 years ago, these decisions determined who ruled cities. Today, they determine who earns trust, builds enduring businesses, inspires others, and creates lasting influence. The world has changed. The technology has changed. The names have changed. But the principles remain remarkably constant. So before asking how to gain more influence, ask a different question. What quiet habit am I practicing today that is shaping the person I will become tomorrow? Because the strongest foundations are rarely built in public. They are built in silence, strengthened through discipline, and revealed only through results. Thank you for watching. If this documentary changed the way you think about leadership, influence, or success, leave a like and share it with someone who values timeless wisdom. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Which of these 7 mistakes do you think is the easiest to make in today's world, and why? Tell us in the comments below. If you're new here, subscribe and join us as we explore the people, civilizations, and ideas that continue to shape our world centuries later. Until next time, history remembers the victories, but it is the unseen decisions that create them.